You've been sold a lie, a massive, beautifully wrapped deception whispered into your ear from the moment you were old enough to understand language. It's the myth of virtue, the gospel of the grind. Work hard, be honest, play by the rules, and you'll be rewarded with wealth. It's a comforting bedtime story, told to keep the masses asleep, dreaming of a future that never arrives. Because while you're trading your life force for a paycheck, exhausting yourself inside a system you believe is fair, the wealthiest people in the world are playing an entirely different game. They're not following the rules you were given. They're following a darker playbook. They understand something you were never meant to see. Wealth is not a reward for hard work. It's the result of psychological warfare. Money is not moral, it's strategic. It's about power, leverage, and control. And the rules were written by the ruthless for the ruthless. This is not another lecture about budgeting. This is not a sermon about index funds. This is a cold, strategic breakdown of how wealth actually works. This is your initiation into a Machiavellian understanding of money and power in a world that is not and has never been fair. If you've ever felt the game was rigged, it's because it is. Today you learn how it's rigged and how it's played. Let's be brutally honest. The belief that hard work leads to wealth is the most effective cage ever built. It keeps millions running endlessly on a hamster wheel, too tired to look up and ask who owns the cage. The hardest workers on earth are not the richest. The person cleaning the floors of a skyscraper works harder than the CEO sitting at the top. Yet their bank accounts tell opposite stories. Why? Because one is playing a game of effort. The other is playing a game of power. The CEO understands what Machiavelli understood 5 centuries ago. Morality and fairness are luxuries power does not rely on. Money does not respond to virtue. It responds to control. It responds to leverage, perception, and psychological discipline. The wealthiest 1% don't merely possess more money. They operate with a different internal architecture. They think differently, act differently, and interpret reality through a lens of cold, pragmatic strategy. They are not governed by the emotional scripts that keep the average person predictable and therefore controllable. This is your introduction to that playbook. Forget everything you've been taught. The real laws of money are unwritten, unspoken, and unforgiving. The great deception, why hard work is a trap. The modern world is built on a foundational myth that there is a direct moral connection between effort and reward. This belief is the bedrock of the employee mindset, the fuel that keeps the 9-to-5 engine running. You are trained to be a reliable cog in a machine you do not own. You are praised for diligence, for loyalty, for your willingness to trade time and life itself for the objectives of an organization. Sacrifice is framed as character, endurance is framed as virtue. But here is the brutal truth that Machiavelli would have recognized instantly. Your hard work is not an asset for you. It is leverage for whoever controls the system. The system is not designed to make you wealthy. It is designed to extract the maximum amount of your energy for the minimum possible cost. The hard work narrative exists for a single purpose: to convince you that this arrangement is honorable. It disguises exploitation as virtue. While you are focused on being the best employee, the highest performer, the most dedicated worker, the architects of the system are focused on something else entirely: control. They control the narrative. They control the capital. They control the psychology of the game. Money, in its rawest form, is not a reward. It is a behavioral instrument. It is a tool for influencing human action. It is a symbol of power that allows one person to command the time, focus, and energy of another. The game of wealth is not about earning money. It is about positioning yourself to control its flow. The average person believes they must trade time for money. This is the foundational error, the slave's equation. It makes income entirely dependent on continuous labor. The moment you stop working, the money stops. That is not wealth. That is high-interest servitude. The truly wealthy broke this equation long ago. They understand that wealth is not earned through labor. It is engineered through leverage. They leverage other people's money, other people's time, other people's ideas, and other people's labor. They are not working inside the system. They are designing the system to work for them. They do not see the world as a place of cooperation. They see it as a chessboard of competing interests. Every interaction is a negotiation. Every relationship is either an alliance or a liability. Every market is a battlefield of emotions waiting to be exploited. To escape the trap, you must first shatter the illusion that you are playing a fair game. You are not. You are a participant in a grand psychological drama where your fear of loss, your desire for security, and your hunger for social approval are the levers used to control you. The moment you accept this, the moment you shed the moral conditioning designed to keep you compliant, is the moment you can begin to learn the real rules. These rules are not about working harder. They are about thinking sharper, more strategically, and far more ruthlessly. If you are ready to shatter the illusion, comment "Game rigged" below. Acknowledge the truth, and we move on. The Machiavellian playbook, the 10 principles of ruthless wealth. What follows are not pleasantries or motivational cliches. They are cold, functional PR. Principles of power and wealth accumulation used in the silent, invisible war for resources that is being fought every single day. Principle 1. Master the art of silence. The first principle is simple, brutal, and undeniable. In any negotiation, the person who speaks first often loses. The average person is terrified of silence. It feels awkward, confrontational, and empty, so they rush to fill it with words, explanations, and justifications. In doing so, they expose their intentions, their insecurities, and their weaknesses. They give away their position for free. The master player understands something different. Silence is not empty space, it is a weapon. When you remain silent, you become unreadable and uncontrollable. You force the other party to project their own fears and assumptions onto you. They begin to wonder what you are thinking, what you know, and what your real position is. Their mind fills the void with anxiety. But to relieve the pressure they created themselves, they start talking. They offer concessions you never asked for. They reveal information they intended to protect. They overcommit, desperate for a response. True power is not shown by what you say, it is shown by what you refuse to say. Practice this in your next negotiation: a raise, a car, a business deal. State your position clearly, then stop talking. Let the silence hang. It will feel uncomfortable. Every instinct will scream at you to explain, to soften, to compromise, resist. Watch your counterpart. They will break. They almost always do. The wealthy win deals that others lose before they even begin by mastering this discipline. They appear strong even when they are vulnerable, simply because they do not surrender control of the conversation. Silence is camouflage in the financial jungle. It makes you appear more powerful and confident than you may actually be. And in the game of money, perception creates reality. While others bleed information, you collect it. Master silence, and you master the negotiation before it starts. Principle 2. Leverage, don't labor. The equation that keeps the masses poor is simple: time equals money. The equation that makes the elite powerful is just as simple: leverage is greater than labor. You were taught to sell your time. The ruthless understand something else entirely. Time is the only asset you can never recover, and selling it is the worst trade you can make. The objective is not to work for money. The objective is to build assets and systems that work for you, generating income whether you are present or not. Leverage comes in many forms. The most common is OPM, other people's money. The wealthy are not afraid of debt, they weaponize it. While the middle class is trained to see debt as a dangerous burden, the elite see it as a force multiplier. They borrow money to acquire assets, real estate, businesses, equity, but they expect to grow faster than the cost of the loan. They are using the bank's money to construct their own fortune. Another form is opt, other people's time. Why would you spend 1,000 hours building something yourself when you can hire 10 people for 100 hours each? The successful entrepreneur does not do all the work. They design a system and place competent people inside it. They are not buying labor, they are buying outcomes. They are leveraging the skills, speed, and focus of others to scale a vision that would be impossible alone. The ultimate objective is to build a machine, a business, an investment structure, intellectual property, a portfolio that generates income while you sleep. This is the difference between a hustle and an empire. The hustler works endlessly, and their income collapses the moment they stop. The emperor builds systems that function independently of their presence. Every financial decision should be filtered through one question: does this require more of my time, or does it free my time by working for me? That answer determines whether you are moving towards servitude or sovereignty. If you are committing to sovereignty, comment "build leverage" below. Burn the old equation out of your mind. Principle 3. Control the narrative. Perception is reality. Machiavelli understood that it is often more important to appear powerful and virtuous than to actually be so. Humans do not react to reality. They react to their perception of reality. Whoever controls perception controls outcomes. Money operates on this principle with ruthless efficiency. A company's stock price is not determined by its present value, but by collective belief about its future. A luxury brand sells a handbag for thousands, not because of materials, but because of the story it has constructed: status, exclusivity, power. The ruthless do not merely sell products. They manufacture value through narrative. They know that even the best product in the world will fail if the story surrounding it is weak. You must become the author of your own narrative. Control how others perceive you. This does not mean being flashy. Flash is often weakness, an exposed need for validation. True narrative control is quiet. It is an aura of competence, restraint, and authority. It is better to be respected than loved. Love is emotional and unstable. Respect is calculated. It is based on an assessment of power. You earn respect by delivering results, keeping your word, remaining calm under pressure, and allowing actions to speak louder than declarations. You do not announce your strength. Your discipline and strategic silence reveal it. Keep your financial position private. When you appear ordinary, you avoid envy and resentment, the two toxins that destroy alliances and create enemies. The man who displays his wealth attracts thieves and parasites. The man whose wealth is invisible attracts opportunity. Let people underestimate you. Their miscalculation is your advantage. You are not here to perform. You are here to win. This is chess, not theater. The objective is not applause for a single move. The objective is total victory over the board. Principle 4. Weaponize risk and debt. The millionaire's secret weapon. The average person is taught to avoid risk at all costs. A penny saved is a penny earned. Better safe than sorry. This mindset is a psychological prison, and it guarantees stagnation. The wealthy understand a fundamental truth. There is no reward without risk. A life without risk is a life without growth. The game is not about avoiding risk. It is about understanding it, calculating it, and using it deliberately. Studies of the ultra-wealthy reveal one rare shared trait: a high tolerance for calculated risk. They are not gamblers staking everything on blind chance. They are strategists. They analyze probabilities, define the downside, and act decisively when the odds favor them. They are comfortable being uncomfortable because they know growth exists only at the edge of certainty. A core component of this mindset is reversing the meaning of debt. The poor and the middle class fear debt because for them, it is almost always consumer debt. Credit cards, car loans, and liabilities that depreciate and quietly drain their future. The wealthy see debt as a weapon. They use it to acquire appreciating assets. Consider the math. They borrow money at 5% and deploy it into an asset producing a 20% return. That 15% spread is profit generated from capital that was never theirs. The S is financial leverage, not recklessness. In an inflationary environment, debt becomes even more powerful. The money borrowed today is repaid later with currency that has lost purchasing power, while the asset acquired with that debt has likely increased in value. You must unlearn the fear of risk and debt that has been programmed into you. Start small. Take calculated risks. Become familiar with uncertainty. Learn to see volatility not as danger but as opportunity. The greatest risk of all is avoiding risk entirely and allowing inflation, indecision, and fear to erode your future. Principle 5. Become the predator, not the prey. In nature, there are only two roles: predator and prey. The prey reacts. It lives in constant vigilance, scanning for threats, prepared to flee. Its existence is ruled by fear. The predator anticipates. It observes patterns, identifies weaknesses, and chooses the moment of action. Its life is governed by strategy. The world of money follows the same law. Most people operate with a prey mindset. They react to headlines, market fluctuations, and workplace pressure. Their financial life is defensive. They seek safety, stability, and predictability. But predictability is vulnerability. Once you are predictable, you are controllable. To build wealth, you must undergo a psychological shift. You must adopt the mindset of a predator. This is not about cruelty or immorality. It's about moving from reaction to intention. The predator does not wait for opportunities. It creates them. The predator does not flee chaos. It exploits it. It buys when others are panic selling. This shift begins internally. Stop viewing money as a source of comfort. Start seeing it as an instrument of power. Stop making decisions rooted in fear. Start making decisions based on strategic advantage. The prey seeks comfort. The predator seeks dominance. This requires an uncompromising audit of your beliefs. Identify your fears about money. Do you believe wealthy people are greedy? That belief is a psychological barrier designed to keep you powerless. Do you fear losing money more than you desire gaining it? That imbalance defines the prey mindset. These mental cages must be dismantled deliberately. Align yourself with a mission greater than personal comfort. Become the cause, not the effect. This is the transition from being hunted to becoming the hunter. If this framework is exposing the structure you have always sensed beneath the surface, understand this clearly. This knowledge is not designed for the masses. This is a strategic briefing for those who refuse to live as pawns in someone else's game. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because what is discussed here is not meant for mass consumption and is rarely spoken aloud. Principle 6. Exploit weakness without conscience. The art of negotiation. Business is not a numbers-only arena, it is a human arena, and humans are driven by emotion, ego, insecurity, and fear. Every negotiatio is a psychological battlefield disguised as a financial discussion. The Machiavellian negotiator understands this and uses it without hesitation. There is a deep philosophical divide here. The average person negotiates to be fair. Research and observation suggest that many of the wealthiest individuals negotiate to dominate. For them, exploiting an opponent's weakness is not immoral. It is fundamental. The average negotiator wants to be liked. They search for common ground and mutual satisfaction. This instinct guarantees one outcome: money left on the table. The ruthless negotiator operates from a single principle: self-interest. They are not there to build friendships, they are there to win. Flattery is one of the most effective weapons. A precise compliment lowers defenses, inflates ego, and creates emotional openness. Once someone feels admired, they become flexible. They concede, not because it is logical, but because it preserves the emotional atmosphere you engineered. Another weapon is controlled intimidation. This is not volume or aggression, it is calm certainty. It is the unmistakable signal that you are willing to walk away instantly. The individual who needs the deal less always holds the leverage. Emotional detachment creates pressure. The other side feels it even if nothing is said. Divide and conquer is another core tactic. When negotiating with a group, unity is the enemy. Identify internal fractures. Appeal quietly to one person's interests over another. Encourage misalignment. A divided opponent negotiates from weakness. This approach feels cold because it is. It treats emotion not as something to honor, but as something to exploit. It requires silencing the instinct for social harmony and activating the instinct for control. While others chase win-win outcomes, you operate with clarity in zero-sum moments where their concession becomes your advantage. Principle 7. Build fortresses, not hustles. There is a dangerous confusion in modern culture between income and wealth. A high-income individual, a doctor, an executive, a specialist, can appear powerful while remaining structurally fragile. Their entire financial existence depends on continued performance. If they stop working or their industry shifts, the income collapses. That is not strength. That is a gilded cage. They are still trading time for money. The Machiavellian objective is not a high-paying job. It is a fortress, a structure of assets that produces income and protects your bloodline independent of your presence. This is the shift from earning to owning. You do not want to be the star actor. You want to own the theater. The actor performs every night. The owner gets paid regardless. A financial fortress is built from systems, not side hustles. Rental properties managed by professionals. Dividend-producing equity portfolios. Businesses with operational teams that function without daily oversight. The defining feature is detachment. Wealth flows to you without requiring your attention. This requires long time horizons, not months, decades. The goal is to build something durable enough to outlast you. That is how dynasties are formed, not through salaries, but through ownership of income-producing assets. Stop asking how you can earn more money. Start asking what asset you can build or acquire that pays you while you sleep. A high income is only raw material. Use it deliberately, not to inflate lifestyle, but to construct your fortress. Every dollar spent on consumption is a dollar removed from your walls. If you are now focused on ownership rather than income, comment "Build fortresses" below. Let that be the foundation you build on. Principle 8. Practice patience and precision. In a world obsessed with overnight success, patience has become a secret weapon. Everyone wants to get rich fast, and that desperation makes them reckless. They chase explosive gains, swing wildly, and when they miss, they don't just lose money, they lose confidence. They attack problems with a sledgehammer when precision is required. The Machiavellian strategist understands that real power is built slowly, deliberately, and often in silence. They practice strategic patience. This is the patience of a sniper, waiting hours for a single decisive shot, not a machine gunner spraying bullets and hoping something lands. This principle lives in experimentation. Instead of betting everything on one unproven idea, the strategist runs controlled STS. Can you make $1 online, not a million, just one? $1 proves the system works. Then 10, then 100. This method lets you identify what works without exposing yourself to catastrophic failure. Patience also demands elimination. Success comes as much from what you remove as what you pursue. Endless scrolling, cheap entertainment, draining relationships. These are weights. You do not carry weight into war. As Warren Buffett observed, the difference between successful people and extremely successful people is that extremely successful people say no to almost everything. The world punishes desperation. It rewards patience with scale. It rewards precision with empires. Principle 9. Use calculated generosity. The naive believe in pure altruism. The cynic believes in pure selfishness. The strategist understands power lies in the space between. Calculated generosity. In The Prince, Machiavelli warned that excessive generosity weakens a ruler, but miserliness breeds resentment. The solution is not generosity as virtue, but generosity as a tool. This is not giving for the sake of giving. This is giving where the return exceeds the cost. The powerful understand this instinctively. They do not simply donate money. They sit on boards. They do not hand out gifts. They grant favors that create obligation. You can apply this immediately, become a source of value. Introduce people who can benefit from knowing each other. Share information that saves time or creates advantage. Offer expertise when it matters. Each act is a strategic deposit into a bank of social capital. Human psychology is simple. When someone receives value, they feel pressure to reciprocate. Over time, you build a network of people who are inclined to support you, defend you, and open doors when you need them. This is a long game. Your generosity must appear natural. If it looks transactional, it fails. The act must seem selfless to be effective. This is not kindness, it is influence. The masses give blindly and receive little. The strategist gives deliberately and builds an empire of loyalty. Principle 10. Embrace ethical relativity. The ends justify the means. This is the final and most controversial principle. It underlies all the others. It is the core of the Machiavellian worldview. Morality is not absolute, it is contextual. Actions are not judged by a fixed idea of good or evil, but by their effectiveness in achieving an objective. Machiavelli argued that if deception or manipulation preserved the state, those actions were not immoral, they were necessary. Power requires the same flexibility. The conventional world operates under moral rules designed to preserve order. Play fair, be honest, follow the script. These rules exist to keep challenges predictable. They are rules for the sheep, enforced for the benefit of the shepherd. The lion is not bound by the rules of the sheep. This does not mean breaking the law. The truly powerful Eli need to. They operate in the gray zones, where ethics blur and outcomes matter more than appearances. This is ethical arbitrage, exploiting the gap between stated values and real behavior. To apply this, you must detach emotion from decision-making. When faced with a choice, the average person asks, "Is this right?" The strategist asks, "Is this effective?" They evaluate cost, benefit, and risk. Will this move me closer to my objective? If the answer is yes and the exposure is acceptable, action is taken. This mindset enables decisions that paralyze others. Loyalty shifts away from people and abstract moral codes and locks onto the mission itself. That is the final release from the chains that bind the masses. When effectiveness becomes your compass, hesitation disappears. The price of power, a warning. Before you adopt this playbook, understand the cost. These strategies work, but they corrode. Operating from relentless self-interest can erode trust, empathy, and genuine connection. You may begin to see relationships as transactions, people as tools or threats. Deception leaves residue. Exploitation leaves scars, not just on others but on you. This path can be isolating, emotionally draining, spiritually hollow if left unchecked. Power is never free. It always demands payment. To see the world as a permanent battlefield comes at a cost. The super-rich often end up trapped in a golden ghetto, surrounded by wealth yet suffocated by narcissism, paranoia, and an inability to form real human bonds. They win the game of money only to discover they have lost themselves in the process. This playbook is a weapon. And like any weapon, it can be used for liberation or for self-destruction. The objective is not to become hollow or cruel. The objective is awareness, to understand the tools being used against you every single day, and to be capable of using them yourself when necessary. The true master of power knows when to be ruthless and when to be human. They wield dark tools without allowing those tools to consume them. That is the real test. To hold power without surrendering your soul. Use this knowledge to build your fortress and secure your freedom, but never forget that power always demands a price. By now, you have been handed a key to a different door. Behind it lies a world governed by a raw, unfiltered code of power. This is the world as it is, not as we were taught it should be. You were taught that money is the reward for honest labor. Now you understand it is the consequence of psychological control. You were told to follow the rules. Now you see that the most powerful people write their own. Mastering silence, leveraging systems, controlling narratives, weaponizing risk, adopting the predator mindset, exploiting weakness, building fortresses, practicing strategic patience, using calculated generosity, embracing ethical relativity. These principles are not a path to happiness. They are a path to power. They are the tools that move you from pawn to player. But understand this clearly. Knowledge without action is meaningless. Most people who encounter this will feel a moment of recognition, a brief spark of clarity, and then return to their old lives. They will slip back into comfortable lies. They will continue trading time for money, hoping for a different outcome. You do not have to be one of them. Begin in silence. Observe the power dynamics around you. Watch how people negotiate. Listen to what they expose when they talk too much. Your transformation will not be loud or dramatic. It will be quiet, deliberate, and internal. A recalibration of how you see the world. You no longer have the excuse of ignorance. You have seen the hidden architecture of the machine. The question is no longer what are the rules. The question is whether you have the courage to use them. The world does not reward those who ask for permission. It belongs to those who master themselves and have the audacity to take what they want. You already know what needs to be done. Now do it. If you are ready to continue your initiation into the real rules of power, subscribe and activate notifications. We are building a circle of strategists. Share this with one person you know is meant for more than the life they were sold. Leave a comment with the single principle that resonated with you most.